everybody in 3, 2, 1.
And welcome, new types, to another episode of the Shinobi Unfolding podcast. I'm your host, King Kai, and tonight we're going to be talking Gundam. We're going to be doing some rankum, so look forward to that. Gundam is obviously a huge title in the anime world, and it's time to give it the topic and discussion that it deserves. Before we get to the discussion, I got to remind everybody to check out our social media, Facebook, where we post memes and whatever anime news that comes out of the day. It usually gets posted there almost immediately. There's also Instagram, and then Twitter, maybe not so much. Then there's obviously the YouTube. The YouTube's the big one where you get to see our pretty faces and you get to see the boss Kage's mastery with his editing and software skills. Also, there's a contest going on right now. Jay Aguilar just announced it, so you can check the last week's podcast and YouTube video as well for the details on that contest. So again, subscribe to the YouTube page and follow us on Facebook and show the love and spread the anime gospel, as I like to say. So next we'll move on to a little anime news. The first little tidbit that we have is the Jujutsu Kaisen manga author, Akutami-san, has announced that he's going to be wrapping things up in about 2 years. Currently, the manga is about chapter 140. So, give or take, there's about, there's 50 weeks in a year about, so you'd say they release about 40 chapters a year. So it might get to roughly like the mid 200s. So I think that's perfect. In my opinion, like Demon Slayer didn't go too far, even though it was super popular. And I feel like this author is going to be doing the same despite the immense popularity that he has the set in mind, and that's what he's going to stick to unless the editors get back to him. So now I'll open the floor on the discussion to my fellow ace pilots. Tonight I have with me Lumillion. Lou, how you doing? And then we have Senpai, Scott. How's it going, man?
I'm chilling, man.
And then we have Jay Monty, rocking the fresh Gundam backgrounds as well for everybody here. So, all right, guys, what do you think about the first news topic? Anything to add on?
Which one do we say? We talk about the Yu Yu Hakusho movie. Is that the one we took? Jujutsu Kaisen. That's pretty great, man. Honestly, like, how many chapters are they in right now? Currently, is anybody reading it? 140. That's 140. Great.
I'm not a reader. I just mentioned in the article that right now they're set to release chapter 140 within the next week or two because it's on hiatus right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, 2 years. We're probably looking at like maybe just a little over 200 chapters. Probably we're thinking. That's awesome, man. If we can do that, that'd be great. I like that like mangas are becoming shorter and shorter, and we're not running things out to like 500 chapters, 600 chapters, man. And we're like being able to crank them out with great stories. Like I still talk about Chainsaw Man. I talk about it with you all the time. Like they did it like a little over 100 chapters, and it was like awesome, unbelievably great. Like if you can do that, that's freaking amazing. So Jujutsu Kaisen's anime was amazing. You might just read the manga, man, instead of waiting for the next season.
I think that's very smart too, because you get a concise story, you get to move on, like you said, as opposed to drawing something out where you lose a fan base like Bleach, and you have an issue with health, or you have an issue with the episodes. Basically, can't keep the quality of writing because it's being overworked.
Dragon Ball.
Damn. That's all you got on that? That was
yeah. No.
Oh, no. Sorry, not to like say it like that, man. That was rude. Oof. Man.
All right, yeah. So I mean, just wanted to hit on that quick again. I mean, he guesstimates 2 years, so it's obviously give or take, but obviously it doesn't seem like he's interested in chasing the dollar sign and milking it for what it's worth. Like I said, he has a storyline. Like he said, he has a vision of what the conclusion is. What happens in between can be tinkered around with, but he kind of has this thing. Yep, go for it.
To play devil's advocate, so did Toriyama. And here we are now. Okay, like Gohan was supposed to take over. those checks came in, the fans were calling, and we're how we are now. So if it does end up playing out that way, I would love it. Just don't want to see it fall prey like so many good mangas before that, like Bleach. No offense, Lou.
Don't you do it, Josh. Don't you do it, Josh.
Yeah, you already know. You should look up the story behind Bleach and how petty that the writer is.
Oh,
it's amazing.
That was hilarious. You got back at them.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a solid anime. Gonna read the manga. I'm sorry, I'm looking at you, Scott, because I'm like, I know you're the manga guy.
No. I'm just thinking about how also too, man, Tokyo Revengers. We're both reading it. It's like 220 chapters in right now, and it's in the final arc. It's probably going to be done by the end of the year, if anything. So we're looking at like 250, 260, and it's if Jujutsu Kaisen can follow that route, man. It's going to probably be going down as like a very good, like solid, like recommendation manga to a lot of people.
I need those links. Send them, boys.
I got you, yo. Actually, Josh got you.
Say less, all right?
All right, guys. So
legal subscriptions.
We'll move on to topic number 2. So Netflix, unfortunately, has once again announced another anime live action adaptation. This time for Yu Yu Hakusho. So the one possible redeeming grace with this announcement is that as opposed to being produced in America, it's actually a Japanese production that's going to be in charge of it. I think they said it's a group that was in charge of doing an Assassination Classroom and Parasite live action adaptation, and those were relatively well received in Japan from what I read. I'm not personally familiar with it, so I can't speak to that. I can only go what was mentioned in the article. They mentioned that I guess it was Netflix that did a live action Death Note adaptation. It was produced in America, and it was terrible. Once again, I hate live action adaptations. I never watched it, but they said it was bad, so I'm going to take their word for it that it was terrible.
Terrible.
So I mean, it just goes to my thing. Why are they doing this? Like, especially they didn't say like what the storyline plans are. If it's just going to be a rehashing of the original storyline, or if it's going to be like some sort of new spin or side story that's different from what we've already received. But the whole thing I keep beating to death is if it's the same storyline, why? Weebs, I'm calling you out. Stop supporting this garbage. There's a reason why they keep digging into, going into this well, and it's because you guys are supporting it. Please stop it. Please.
Don't do drugs.
God. I want Yu Yu Hakusho animated new stuff. I don't want live action. I don't want live action.
I would love them to redo it.
Of Yu Yu Hakusho that we've already seen. I don't want it.
But what if people were doing drugs and wanted to watch?
You know what? Netflix, use that money for the live action adaptations and do good animations for Ragnarok. Because you dropped the ball. You dropped the ball on Ragnarok. You dropped the ball on The House Husbands. You're slacking on the anime, so stop slacking on the anime. Give the money from live action to the anime. Gentlemen, chip in.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
No, you go.
You please.
I already did that first.
I went first the last time.
I went first last time. You go. All right. We're like two gentlemen.
All right, I'm making an executive decision. Senpai, go for it.
Man, I just wanted to make a quick note that what you said about Netflix, they're kind of really terrible with live action stuff, and some of the adaptations for the anime has been bad, but they also gave us amazing stuff like Castlevania. Castlevania is absolutely amazing. I can't even just say I can't say good enough stuff about that like most people don't even talk about it because it's on Netflix. They've also gotten like the new Shaman King was spot on for me. I remember watching the original and it was absolutely beautiful. Live action, that Death Note was terrible. I don't think Yu Yu Hakusho's live action is going to be good just because I'm on the same page as you with that. But I don't know if you guys know this too. Yu Yu Hakusho had that one episode spinoff, man, that was a newer episode, man, with like after some years have gone by. So they do have the ability to make more Yu Yu Hakusho instead of putting their money into the basket for this live action. It's just a waste of money where you're putting into live action where you could just put it back into the anime and possibly give us something better.
Right.
So it's terrible.
I'd say one thing I'll say about Netflix that I've enjoyed right now is they're doing a combination between live action and anime. So I don't think they have live action completed yet in a quality sense, but the anime I've been happy with. Ragnarok, I guess some people didn't like it. I enjoyed it for what it was. It's Netflix. But looking right now, The Witcher. Have you guys seen the new Witcher movie? It's anime. It's anime.
It looks good.
It was. Let me tell you something. It was very enjoyable. We'll leave it like that. Can't say the words I want to say because it's YouTube, but it was very enjoyable. So watch that, guys. That was anime style. It was in the same animation style, if you would, as Castlevania, but a better story. And you know, Castlevania's story was fire. So
heck yeah, it was. Yeah.
Monty, did you have anything to add?
I think he's saying that's none of his business. He's drinking right now.
unless
I'm reading the rumor.
He was being Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, I know you guys were going, no, you talk. So I thought he had something to add.
No, I was just gonna say, in all fairness, Ragnarok was complete garbage, animation wise. But in all fairness, the creator of the House Husband did from the jump want to do an animated comic. It was just Netflix that dropped the ball on their marketing. But otherwise, I mean, it's true to the creator's intent, and it was enjoyable for what it was.
They couldn't go with that budget. What are they going to do? It's Netflix budgets. They lost all their money on Dave Chappelle.
But I mean, I guess I should kind of reword how I put it. But like, Netflix has done a good job with animes. I'm not saying everything they've done is garbage. It's just if you have titles that were anticipated and ended up being lackluster, that the funds that you're putting towards this terrible live action will be better allocated towards those projects instead.
Yeah, no, definitely.
All right, so I think we're clear on that topic. We've been beating live action adaptations over the head recently, so we'll move on from that and hopefully throw the dirt over the casket and bury it, because if I see another live action adaptation announcement for an anime that I hold near and dear to my heart, I think I'm not going to be able to recover.
If it's not better than Guyver, I don't want it.
Only live adaptation that I accept. I'll say that. I'll say that right now. Watch Guyver 2 Dark Hero. Awesome.
If it's not better than that, I don't want it.
Fair.
And why not do anime that you can actually do on Netflix? There's detective anime. We got ghost anime. There's a lot of shows that would be low budget, great storytelling. There's comedy anime. I'd say Fruit Basket would be a beautiful thing if it could be possible that you could do with a lower budget than, say, Yu Yu Hakusho, where you're going to have 1 million fireballs and lasers shooting out of each corner.
Yeah, I know they've, like, in the Japanese market, they've had some success with that. With, I want to say, like, Love is Hard for Otaku and a lot of those other like romantic comedies. They've been able.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like a Great Teacher Onizuka. They had live action for that as well.
That's an amazing story. Yes.
All right, guys. So on to the main topic of the night, our Gundam Rankum. Tonight we're going to start. Well, I guess I'll just give a brief overview of all the topics we'll be covering. We're going to do our favorite top 3 Gundam series of all time, our least favorite 3 Gundam series of all time. We're going to do our favorite main character, villain, female character, and side character. And then the opposite, we're going to do least favorite of those same categories. Then we're going to do our top 5 mechs, our least favorite 5 mechs. And then the final is going to be our favorite Gundam opening for the anime series. So we'll kick things off with the top 3. And I'll start off, and I'm going to say I'm going with OG Mobile Suit Gundam 0079. That I have to. It's classic. You know, I don't want to say it wasn't simplistic, because there is depth and a good plot line to it, but it's not super convoluted. It's straight up, you know, Zeon versus the Federation. You got the new types versus, you know, just the normal military pilots, and it's not all this crazy like I guess I won't go down the rabbit hole of other series that I hated and the reasons why I hated it yet, but Gundam just, it had everything. They didn't get too crazy with all the, well, I guess there was some melodrama in it, but like there's some other series where it's just like super melodramatic. It had a nice taste of, you know, war tactics and, you know, the troubles of dealing with war with all the crew members. And I think it had a nice balance of everything. And then to top it all off, you had awesome mech action and laser beams and lightsabers clashing and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'd say that one thing when you say with that, though, Amuro Ray was basically the mold for a lot of anime following up with that, where you have this young character that, you remember what happened to him. He had an explosion happen. He found a manual in a Gundam. He read the manual and then beat all the military trained fighters. And he had this awesome Gundam that he learned to play with it. The one thing I do say is that we copied that exact mold in every anime now. Everything we watch is a young character now because that sells. And then they always are going to be special. They have no powers, but somehow they beat the world out of people who've been doing it for a long time. And I agree in that sense, Dave. That's hilarious. And it's definitely 79 was awesome.
So, Monty or Senpai, did you have Gundam in your top 3 rankings? Or
Oh, I thought you were gonna go your top 3, then everyone else's top 3.
No, we're gonna do one by one. So me and Lou both have Gundam in our top 3. So if anybody else does, we're just gonna follow suit and talk about that now if it's in your top 3. If not, then just mention your first pick for top 3.
Oh, all right. I just threw up a complimentary set of 3. That wasn't the 3 that was mentioned. My bad. Honorable mention, 0083 Stardust Memories. Essentially, it is Gundam Top Gun. If you know who doesn't like Top Gun, if you love Top Gun, you're gonna love this Gundam. Enjoy the hell out of it.
You've lost that love and feeling.
Does it play Danger Zone when they're fighting?
It's similar. Almost sounds like it, but not quite.
Do you think if you played it during some of the fighting scenes that it would probably mesh up well?
Oh, for sure.
Nice.
Sure.
Nice.
Well, which one of us are going to age like Val Kilmer? Oof, too soon. Too soon.
Yeah, I liked
great documentary.
I liked Gato. He was a nice antagonistic character.
Yeah.
He was well done. I also kind of liked the whole that strong, because we were talking earlier about female characters and how not too many stand out the mind. The lead female character there on the ship.
Dina?
She was very. I mean, she took no crap. Like, she was very strong-willed and cutthroat. She wasn't like these foo-foo, like, like Frau Bo that's just tagging along on white base, doing the babysitting. Like, she was knee deep in the tactics and running the ship, and all her, her crew were probably petrified of her.
Yeah.
So, Scott, your first mention on your top 3.
My first mention is let's just get it out this and get out the way, because really I only have technically 2 shows, because one is a 2-parter. So we're just gonna get the easy one out the way so we all can just agree upon it.
Of the 2 that we just mentioned, that none of those 2 were in your top 3?
Oh no, not at all.
Okay,
no,
all right.
Man. I'm gonna mention the one that I know is definitely in lose with me, man. And given the background, G Gundam. G Gundam is my favorite Gundam.
Oh,
I waited forever. When I tell you forever, like, there was a Japanese release of Blu-ray. It was like a special edition Blu-ray for this that came out only in Japan. You couldn't get it. And some people got it, man. They were selling it for like over $1,000, man, here in the States. And it was like some crazy deluxe big box, all the episodes. I love G Gundam because I think my first taste of Gundam that I ever got wasn't original. It was actually Wing, like most people, from my knowledge. Mm-hmm. And then G Gundam came around. I was like, yo, these guys are fighting. They're like rubber suits, really scandalous, weird. Okay, I can look past that. I'm a kid anyway. I didn't care. It's like watching Power Rangers for, Gundams. And who doesn't like big mechs? Who doesn't like giant robots? Macross and stuff like that. So these guys are like fighting hand to hand. I was like, this is so cool, man. It's like Gundams are just fighting each other. No swords, no lasers, people are going hand to toe over here, man. And it was just awesome. Main character in Neo Japan. I thought, being a Japanese, anime where, the main character's focal point was, Japan, and they had to win. It was like kind of a little like, tip in the scale here. But all the other countries loved them. Absolutely loved all the countries. I talk with a friend of mine who all the time, it's so bad that Neo America's character literally in the subbed version, original Japanese, he doesn't call him Domon Kashu. He's just like, hey, Japanese. That's all he calls him, yo. Like, it's the racist thing I've ever heard. And I'm just like, guy, can we say his name, please? Like, he's got a name.
Say his name.
Yo, like he's
like a poster.
He's in
say
your
his
group, like,
name.
or call him yo, the King of Hearts, anything, but no, hey, Japanese. Like, bro, can we not? Right?
You know what no one mentions, Senpai? That Neo Japan had 9 members. Every other region had no more than 3.
Yo, that's
how fair was that? How fair was that tournament? Neo Japan, 9 members. Everybody else had 3. P.S. My man has something called a God Gundam.
Yo, seriously.
Wonder who's gonna win this battle.
For real, man.
I just love. Have you seen this man? Yeah.
Have you seen this man in this city? Or the fact is the most flamboyant, masculine character I've ever seen. Shorty was jumping and doing cartwheels like Team Rocket into his arms. Together, we will shine. Like both their hands going up at the same time. Meanwhile, there's a giant mech exploding with flames that no one's like paying attention to now. And her dress, he catches her and carries her off. Like, and now we begin our new destiny. Like insane. One of my favorite shows of all time. Toonami goes down in our heart of hearts. We all just look how the energy just went up as soon as we mentioned that. That's why it's a great series, and that's why I agree with you.
Thank you.
We took Street Fighter at the time, which was very big and popular.
Yes.
We took Big Mechs, which was like, okay, I can do this. We combined them together. So instead of beating up a 92 Honda, we switched to Mechs beating up each other. And now it made sense because we were all confused as kids. I was sitting there like, why is he fighting a Honda? I wish I had a Honda. And there was a man named E Honda. So it was very confusing. But now we had people, I couldn't pronounce their names. I still call him Demon Kasu because I cannot say his name for nothing. All I know is I wanted that glove with the heart on it. And Josh, how many times have you heard me say it already? Take my pain,
hate, my love,
all of my sorrow. Burning finger. I used to say that stuff all the time. It resonates with my real life. And that's how you know you have an attachment to something. Even right now, I feel like I'm on fire a little bit. Gundam was a great series because it was the gasoline for so many of us youth watching anime. And Toonami was the match. And after that, they set me on fire, bro. Great anime.
My man. Anybody else have that? You had that?
What? No. It's awesome.
I enjoyed G Gundam, but I didn't have it on my top 3 just because I knew for a fact, Scott, I knew for a fact that you were going to have it in your top 3. So so we had diversity of conversation, I had something else to fill in another slot.
I appreciate you, man.
I'm with you. G Gundam is probably number 2 in like my real, like, if I didn't have to worry about, not picking something else, somebody else picked, like G Gundam is probably number 2 for me.
And it's not UC, which I feel is like a big thing, like everybody really loves UC stuff, like more than like Elseworld stories. And this was like one of those nice little standouts that wasn't UC.
Fun fact, it's actually the first alternate century series.
I saw that when I was Googling it, dude. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no,
it's one of the most. I was gonna say it's one of the most stereotypical and somewhat
problematic today.
Races ever. I was like, yikes! Team Cuba wasn't looking too good out there. I was like, probably no.
Damn.
New Italy was in the mafia. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah. All right. So the second one on my list, I had the Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origins, which went back before the original Gundam series. It was a prequel to the original, and it kind of showed, Char and the Zabi family and how that whole confrontation and overthrow went, and how Char got separated from his sister and how his father got assassinated and how the Principality of Zeon came to fruition. And I like that whole backstory. And also, I thoroughly enjoyed Rumble Raw in the original Gundam. And I thought he was a boss. And I liked that he played a big part in the Origins. Rumble Raw is my guy. So I had Origins in my top 3.
I agree. Nice. I think that one thing I love about Origins is the great jumping in point. because when we look at the UC, like when we go back to the Universal Century, it's such a big task. And then us being older, this is a dated one. Unless you watch the trilogy of movies that come out and condense it, this is a big task. This is almost like back in the day watching One Piece, which some of us have done. Shout out to Jay Aguilar, beast mode. But for me, it was looking at the origins of the story was more so Vietnam, telling an anti-war story. Watching them fight differently because you got to see more so, besides the end of the series, you got to see more so the political, like you were saying, the families they went to. After the family went, how each of them tried to use them as pawns for power, and how we look at our antagonists, like we look at Char, and from he's 9 years old, everywhere he went, he was a ruthless, violent psychopath that used and manipulated people even at a young age. And his sister was gone in the glamour, having fun, doing her own thing. But he set forth, and you knew from day one that this man is going to be Lex Luthor. This man's going to be the villain of this story. So I love that aspect. The final battle, the battle of is it Luam? Luam, Loum? That's the perfect battle for me because I hate having CGI and anime, 2D and 3D together, but it was beautifully done. When they had the captain saying like, "Oh, man your guns, we got to fight, and then turn your ships around." And then all of a sudden you see this red comet, and we all make the jokes that if it's red, you go faster, hence the background. But cut through like a boss with a Trinity. You take this cannon, you shoot him, hey, you cover him. And he literally took out all the ships, not a couple. That's one of the most gangster scenes in anime that I've seen from mech anime. I don't know about you guys. It was lit. No fake glowing, no super mode. This isn't some weird like new technology now that I have nanobots syncing with my mind. This was just straight 20 years of skill, training with one thought of revenge on my mind. Machiavellian discipline. I loved it.
Oh yeah, no, we'll definitely get into that more later, man, when we talk about characters, because that's what he won the best pilots, hands down. Fight me.
Masks. They wear masks now. They wear masks now. We got it from him. Original, baby. Say my name.
All right. So was Origins on Senpai's or Monty's list, or are you guys ready to move on to your next pick?
Yeah, Senpai, you go first, brother.
Mine's is just a two-parter, man, because they were both on here, man. The first part and the second part to it, which absolutely nobody's. I'm gonna get so much hate for this, man.
Don't say Z. If you say Z, we fight.
No, he's gonna be way off the rails on this one, man. It's super off the rails. Y'all are just gonna be like, Scott, what's wrong with you, man? I'm gonna be like,
he's gonna say that the Bill Divers or something.
No, we're not talking Bill Divers. Bill Fighters,
yeah.
Yes, Bill Fighters, man. Bill Fighters. Try it. I absolutely love, man. Literally.
Oh wow.
And I will obviously when we get into like other stuff now, man. Like,
yeah.
Not for. Go ahead. No. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say I gave the rewatch because of you. You kept talking about it. I was like, I don't know how to feel about it. It's a big toy commercial, but you know what? It had a lot of heart, man. I actually was not mad at it by the end of it. I was like pretty drawn into the characters.
I think because, man, I liked it so much because like the anime was about like, and it sounds weird to put it this way, but it was about me. I liked Gundams growing up, man, because, you know, everybody watched Wing. They thought it was cool. And I walked into like our anime store one day and I saw my first Gundam model kit. And I was just like, what the heck is this? And it's like, oh my God, you can buy these, you put them together. And like, that was it. That was my first like taste of like Gundam plastic. And I've never gone back. Like, you can't see it behind me in my case. You know, I've built with, you know, Monty a few times, man. Like it's like a habit, man. And build fighters is all about you, man. Like people who take kits, put different ones together and like literally make a Gundam that never existed before, man. You know, like it's all about the imagination and it's wonderful. And I think that's great. It's more than just like, oh, there's Gundams here. It's like, it's not just, you know, politics. It's like, you loved Gundams because you were a kid and we grew up, but we didn't have to just, you know, grow up into adults. We could still, you know, love the things we love, which is why we love anime. And Build Fighters was that, man. It's like, you know, everybody built Gunpla and everybody like, you know, battled or just built it because that's what they like doing, man. And like the whole motto of, you know, Build Fighters is that, you know, Gunpla is freedom. Like everybody's allowed to love and do what they want with Gundam. So that's another wonderful aspect of that. And Try was cool because it reminded me so much of G Gundam because literally spoiler, but also wonderful Easter egg. everybody in these universes exists in all of the Gundam shows. They were all real people in this world, and they played those characters on TV. Like General Rao, what was it, Rumble Rao, man? Yeah. He's a character who's very like relevant in Build Fighters, who stops by the main character shop, and he builds like his Gundam, well, his mobile suits, like, so it's really funny. And like, oh my God, because he's a celebrity because he was in the Gundam show. So like when Tri came along, you're like, this kid knows, karate. He uses this Ryan Zupaku style or whatever. And like all the way at the end of the show, all the way at the end, his friend goes back to see their master, who is he? Domon Kashu. Like, what? Domon Kashu trained this kid how to fight. It's like, and that was such a cool little Easter egg and fun, man, to watch that. So my literal 2 and 3 is Build Fighters and Build Fighters Tri. So I don't know. I'm sure no one has that on their list, but I highly want to tell you guys, watch it. Recommend.
Yeah, no, and that Fellini Reiji fight is still, I'll argue with anybody, it's one of the best fights you'll see, even if it is toys. It's pretty dope.
The combination between building a Gundam and having somebody else pilot it, they did have one of the best combinations, yeah. But yeah.
All right, so Monty, what's your number 2 pick for Top Gundam series?
Yeah, I mean, my number 2 pick is Gundam 00. I mean, it was awesome. I've watched it like several times. It's just put it in the background. It's a good one.
It's the good one.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know how to describe it. There's political intrigue. It's a lot like Wing. It's Wing with a facelift, with sprinkling a little bit of UC magic with the whole war BS. It's pretty dope. And then honorable mention is Gundam Thunderbolt, just because we could just keep them pushing. That one's got amazing music, lots of great fighting. Cowboy Bebop with mechs, you'll love it. I mean, with Gundams.
So I definitely like 00, how it wasn't like little like emo teenagers. It was actually like soldiers. If I remember correctly, they were like more like soldiers.
Most realistic war. It's most realistic war Gundam. Yeah.
I'll tell you this once, Dave. You disrespect Wing again, and I'll kill you.
Wing, I love Gundam Wing.
No, I'm just playing.
But so, anyways, my final pick is the 8th MS team. Again, kind of going and what I liked it. It was more of it wasn't focused on like, it was like the little guys that are part of the war, not like the ace pilots. It was like the minor skirmishes that still go on, and there was a lot of tactics and making the most of what you can with a ball. Like I love how it opened and Shiro's just in a ball, like fighting off everybody. He's just like Guyver, just doing whatever he could with what he had on hand to succeed in the mission. So that's my 3rd pick. Lou, what you got?
So for me, it's definitely gonna go. We did that. I'm gonna go with Iron-Blooded Orphans, just because it was probably the most recent one. I didn't get into it as much as I wanted to, but season 1 and season 2, it brought me back to enjoying a series. The more I watched it, the more I experienced the characters. It's probably, to me at least, forget the Z's. I go in order of we got obviously I'm gonna go with G Gundam. We know 79, and then I'm gonna go with the Origin. But then this would be my 4th favorite because it brought me back to something from my childhood with nostalgia. Brought me characters. I went through it quickly. Brought me characters that I could resonate with, and it didn't go away from what Gundam's about. You know what I mean? So I'll leave it at that.
All right, so we've all mentioned our top 3. So now we'll mention our bottom 3, and what we'll do this time is I'll go ahead and just list off my 3 picks, and then we'll move on to the next person. They'll do their 3 picks, and then we'll just have a discussion about the titles that we mentioned. Everybody's on board with that. So for my bottom 3 Gundam series, I have Double Zeta, I have the movie F91, and I have Gundam Seed Destiny.
That was almost on my list.
Destiny's on my list. It's very derivative of the original. Yeah.
We're on the same page. There's nothing to say. Like, if it has F in the title, F it, because that was just a waste of my life.
All right. So what were the rest of your bottom 3, Monty?
So we got Seed, SD Gundam, Fight Me.
Okay.
All right, not I wasn't a fan. And then Turn A Gundam, I was just like, what is going on? Like,
yeah.
we went so far forward that we went backwards. That's what happened.
We call that opium Gundam right there. Yeah.
All right, what you got, Lou?
That's it. We had the same list, Dave.
Okay.
That was literally the same list I had. I was laughing when you put it up. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I can go with Double Z. I can go with Double Z because it got a little too dark for me in the beginning. The sequel was a little too funny, then it got dark again, and we accomplished nothing. We have how do you have one of the most famous men in the universe, the Red Common himself, hiding out on your ship? How do you have the most blatant thing of having a freaking giant meteorite? Like, I wonder what he's gonna. The first time they crashed the colony into the Earth, I wonder what they're gonna follow that up with. Oh, look, brand new giant asteroid. What call it? We're the axis. We're the neo axis, and they call the meteorite axis. I wonder what they're gonna do with that. Crash it into the Earth so we can get people to escape and get superpowers. What?
I don't know, man. When you're wearing Pit Vipers and you go by the name of Four Vaginas, no one questions you, okay? It's Quattro Vagina. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
I'm still gonna say Lala from 79. You went into space. You got superpowers. Freaking Amuro Ray went Super Saiyan when he hung out and chilled with Lala. That was one of the weirdest situations ever. But when you go to Z, this is some of the weirdest stuff I've ever seen. You have the main villain of the entire series just chilling on the ship. You guys are military. Someone might be like, yo, who's this blonde dude? Turn into an owl. Who is this blonde dude chilling here? It's like Superman. They can't figure it out. Please.
The glasses, man. It's a proven thing, man. The glasses.
Please.
All right, Senpai, what you got for your bottom three dishonorable titles?
I liked Build Fighters so much. Build Divers was such a letdown when I started watching it that I actually stopped watching Build Divers, man. It was just trash. I couldn't do it. It didn't follow the same concept, man. It was like an MMORPG of Gundam, which that's not what I wanted.
It made no sense.
No, it didn't. It didn't. You can tell yourself that, but that's fine. In any case, yo, I put this is a unanimous across the board, even though I know you guys didn't put it on there, but I've thrown it out there anyway. G Savior was terrible, absolutely terrible. Exactly. I said it. I wanted to put it out there, even though we're all about it. So
it's a live action. That's why you probably missed it.
Don't worry. It was terrible, man. But y'all can fight me on this one. I know somebody's gonna have some words. Unicorn. I didn't like Unicorn.
Yo, don't do that to me.
I did.
I'm was not the biggest fan, bro.
I'm not.
It was.
Tell me why you didn't. Besides the first Iron-Blooded Orphans, tell me why you didn't like Unicorn.
Oh, did we talk about why the Iron-Blooded Orphans almost made it on this list?
Yo, best I have for right now.
Listen, let me tell you, okay? For that short end, Biscuit's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. That's why I literally stopped right after that episode. Right after that episode, I stopped watching it. I literally stopped watching it. I'm on the last episode. I never finished it.
But it gets darker. Okay, it gets more depressing.
Nah, man. You know what the problem was? Is like I hated the way that they kept like jumping around at like the memories of like Amuro and Char during the whole situation. They talked about it, so it was a lot of history that I didn't really care for. I just didn't care for it.
What are you gonna do? Go watch Age again? You gonna go watch Age?
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna watch any of that.
Like I said, it's the best Gundam I got that I could finish.
I just couldn't wrap my mind around how in 3 short years technology had just blown up where they had laser Gatling guns flying with shields. And I was like, this is getting kind of ridiculous. Like,
you had a main character find a book like it was an RPG and fight military people, went to space and went Super Saiyan 1 with Lala, and now he's one of the future children that have psychic powers. Of course, it's going to get banana face crazy. It's called plot armor. My man had a shield with this. My man had a shield with this laser sword coming through. Like what?
But
how are you defending yourself?
Yeah, I just couldn't, man. I just couldn't. Like, I watched all of it too, man. It just, I was like, man, this was kind of wasting my time. I just wasn't feeling it, man.
Go back and watch Voltron and go talk to me about that.
Hey, listen. You put some respect on them 5 lions names when you call them Voltron like that. You better watch out. They listen on a Friday night when you're feeling yourself, man. You had a good time. You tell them form blazing sword, man. You're right. Relax.
All right. Yes, that's like 5 to 10 right there, player. Laser swords.
All right, guys. Well, we've gone through the meat and potatoes of discussion with the series, so now these topics will be a little more rapid fire. So we're going to go with the favorite MCs. So we'll just have everybody list off their character, and then if anybody has any sort of input to add in afterwards, that we can have a quick discussion on that. So I'll start things off. MC favorite Amuro Ray. Got to go Amuro.
Anybody disagree? Come on, we all got to be on that same page, bro.
He's not for me, but I respect that choice because he's the OG.
He was the main character for a 9-year stretch. Who else has done that besides Goku?
Then I thought he had good character development. He started off with a snotty kid. You know, he was really relying on the actual Gundam itself, and then obviously he developed his new type abilities, and then obviously he wasn't all just like, a company man for the Federation. He actually kind of bought into a bit what Char was trying to sell him about, space versus Earth and the whole, corruption of the Earth and all that. So he was a free thinker, which I liked. He wasn't just this stoic and just, he was what he was from episode 1, and he just stayed that way forever. That's what I really liked about him.
Yeah, he's very complex. Yeah, definitely.
All right, Senpai, who'd you have?
Yeah, I had Saisaishi from G Gundam. I love that, man.
Hell yeah,
That's
bro.
My boy. He wasn't the main character, but he was my favorite. He was one of the 5 anyway, man, because he was part of the Shuffle Alliance. He played a big part in, oh wait, you know what? You asked for main characters. I'm such a terrible person.
Yeah.
I should have just went with Amuro. My bad. You right. Let's move on from that. Let's move on from that. He's my honorable mention. He's my honorable mention on the side. Right. Never mind.
Okay, so
Hero Yui, Mobile Suit Gundam Wing. No one brings him up, but my man's an OG, mysterious character, came out of nowhere, and he was a badass the whole series. Character arc was I'm badass and I'm more badass.
Shreds in front of Erlena's face.
And then he's like, I'll kill you.
Your birthday
like,
one of the greatest scenes in anime. My man was cold-blooded. I'd like to invite you to my birthday party. Tore her dreams.
Just blows it away.
Bro, cold-blooded.
All right, talking about cold-blooded, we'll go to our favorite villain of the Gundam series. And again, I think this will probably be clear across the board. Char Aznavour, yes?
Yeah. I couldn't even think of a villain for myself, honestly.
I don't even look at him as the villain, to be honest with you, man.
Well, okay, you could say antagonist.
Yeah.
Antagonist.
Strong ideals, great leader, sociopath. He drives the main character. He always pushes the main character's buttons, regardless of what series it is, whether it's Amuro or Camille and Zeta or But when he killed Crowns, it really got me, because they had him fly to the atmosphere and they didn't have to die, but he was giving him all this praise, like, oh, I'm sorry, I won't be able to be with you, and he's just like, all right, next, like, all right, you're dead. He let them cook slow in the atmosphere when he could have saved him, and that's just, damn, he's a villain.
Yeah. All right, so the next category, we have favorite female. This one will probably be a little different for everyone. I have Haman Karn. She took over the Principality of Zeon once technically it was Minerva Zabi, but she was a kid, so she was just like a figurehead, but Haman Karn was pulling the strings behind the scenes. Very cold-blooded, ruthless. In Zeta Gundam, she was going against the Titans there, and the AEUG and Double Zeta. She was trying to drop. Well, she did have a colony dropped on Earth because she was trying to purge the scum of the earth. So she was very cold-blooded, ruthless, and one of our underlings that I'll mention later on died for her. There was a faction, and he helped knock out the faction that was opposing her within the Axis. And she was like, oh, well, I have one less weapon after the guy was like completely devoted.
And he freaking loved her, would do anything for her, and she used him. He was the original F-boy. Yeah. Can't say the word.
Yeah. But she was cold-blooded, ruthless, militaristic, and that's why she was my favorite female lead.
All right.
I'm gonna go with a weak character that people forget that tied me to the series and kept me with this series. I'm gonna go with Kara because Kara's death, people forget right now. She went out, she got the Gundam, she ended up getting Amuro's old Gundam. She went out and fought. She thought she was gonna be cool. She dies in space. He grabs her body, brings it back, and what ends up happening is we'll never know how yummy that pasta could have been because her hands comes through and says, I just made your shorty just dies. And instead of crying and freaking out, I'm like, my family, no, he goes, I just made you pasta. And I'm sitting here like, what is going on?
Because it wasn't real to him yet, man. Yeah,
it's like Mark Wahlberg acting. Like, what are you doing right now? The trees, toxins in the trees.
You gonna let me fly, man?
It tied me to Amuro because I wanted to find out what was going to happen going forward with that. And it showed me that in Gundam, it was like Game of Thrones almost. Like, you live, you die. That was it. And that series got real after that. Not Zeta real, but like real. Double Z.
All right, Senpai, you got a name to throw into the mix here?
I had to think about it, man, because I didn't know too many female characters like out of any of the Gundam series that I watched, man. But I had to do a little research. But back at G Gundam City again for me, man. Annabelle Beardsley, man, she piloted the Noble Gundam, which was sick, which looks like Sailor Moon. It literally looks like Sailor Moon. So there's nothing wrong with that, man. And she just reminded me of Chun-Li, man. And she was like, she came on the scene. She knew how to fight. Like, she was kind of like comic relief, but she was also like a little extra driving force for, Domon's like love affair to be like, oh, there's another woman who he might be interested in. She's going to have to put in that work. And she did afterwards, But yeah, she was the only character I can honestly think of, man. Like, I don't really think too much outside of with UC stuff, man. Like, everybody just kind of like passes over because I've watched it so long and I've never rewatched it.
All right, Monty, who you got?
All hail and bow down to the queen that is Karen Joshua from the MSOA team, because homegirl held it down. She was a widower. She was the backbone and the spine of that entire operation. She was not only one of the lead mechanics, she operated her she had the GM head for the Gundam. She was the bomb.com. She didn't take no crap. And she gave her right back. Anytime Eleanor stepped out of line, anybody stepped out of line, she put them in their place. Karen was awesome.
Nice,
Thanks,
man.
Pick. I like that. All right, guys. So now for the complete opposite, our least favorite. So for MC, I'm going to start things off. I have Camille from Zeta Gundam. Just a complete baby, in my opinion. Just picking a fight, very needy. He irritated me.
He punched everybody in the face. Yeah. And I love that because sometimes they deserved it. He was like, he was the worst, but I get you. He was a baby.
Anybody else? Lou, who you got?
I'm gonna say Lala because she gave everybody Super Saiyan powers, and I was confused as a child.
Lala wasn't an MC. She's a female character.
Oh, you say? Oh, I'm sorry.
MC like an Amuro or Camille or Judo or Hero.
I'm not gonna really have one. I'm
happy with?
Okay.
There's a lot of characters I'm not happy with, but I'm not gonna say it's a specific female character that I was just like.
Well, no, we're doing male MC.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, any main character.
Any character I wasn't happy with.
Main character.
Any main character I wasn't happy with. Hero U, I love the character in one sense, but I also hate him in another sense because there could have been so much depth to the character development, especially how he could inspire others. Maybe you're such a badass. How about help somebody else become a badass? The series just can't be Power Rangers where the Power Rangers are the only people that have powers and everybody else is just running away scared. Gundam should have been more to me like Arrow, where you make other people superheroes as well. You have other people with mech suits, and all they need is your skill set. Teach them. You're the man. You have all these skills. Help those people. It's like Kevin Hart says, help me. Because you have all these other people dying left and right around them. It's like you could have did something about it. That's off the top.
It was that dog, man. That's why.
All right, Monty, who you got?
Kara, Plot Armor, Jesus, Yamato. Gundam's Death Scene. Dare I say anything else? Like, nah.
I'm gonna back that. I'm gonna change mine to that because I forgot how bad of a character he honestly was. Like,
Oh,
I had Mikazuki Ben from Iron Blood Orphans, but we can go with that. We can go with that. I don't want to get into it.
damn.
We'll talk about Iron Blood Orphans some other
You
day.
came for me tonight, huh? You came for me. I should never watch Iron Blood Orphans. Try to get me back in the Gundam. Thanks, Josh. I'm getting murdered out here.
No, I mean, to be honest, not my favorite either, but it's cool. It's cool.
I wasn't listen, man. We weren't gonna watch Age again. Ugh. Ugh.
All right, guys. So we'll move to the next category: least favorite villain. I have Marshmallow from Double Zeta. At the start of the series, Zeta was just Double Zeta was really weird. Like it was super kiddie and ridiculous, and then it got super serious halfway through. It was some sort of production thing because they got a lot of harsh criticism from the audience, so they just did a complete 180. But he was getting juked by little kids not in mobile suits when he was in a mobile suit. Like this is a military guy, and little kids are just playing pranks on him and defeating a grown ass man, military man in a mobile suit. Like it was ridiculous. And all of a sudden, he gets super serious. He's dropping colonies on Earth, and it's just like I was like, what's going on with this guy? Like
He's sick of losing to kids. That's the problem.
His character was all over the place. On top of what Lou mentioned with regards to Haman Karn, just a complete lopsided, one-sided love, and the guy was just a schmuck. So I have him as my least favorite villain character.
Okay.
Who you guys got?
I picked Full Frontal from Unicorn.
I second that. Yeah.
I just didn't like him.
Was he Char?
He's not Char. Yeah, no, he's not. Like
Okay.
had his memories. Like he just thought he was like.
Yeah, he's just using the moniker. He's just a cheap, pale imitation.
Yeah, I love this is
because they have the middle face gang.
Yeah, man, he wasn't who he was supposed to be, man. That's another reason why I didn't like Unicorn that much. So
I still enjoyed Unicorn. I still enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the music from Unicorn.
Yeah, it was lit. It's one of the best experiences to sit down and finish an episode that you watch from beginning to end. I'm not skipping anything. It was actually that good.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna come for you. I can't wait to Shinobi. Let's do another episode. I'm coming for you. Coming for you.
I might rewatch it for you, Lou, to give it a chance. I will. I might
watch it with me. Yeah, how about you? Come watch it with me. I'll give you some snacks. All these things 7-Eleven. They open all day, baby. Let's go.
These things are rated E for every.
Who you got for least favorite villain, Lou?
I just said it there. Everybody, we're all the Trinities in agreement.
Okay.
Yeah,
and I actually like Unicorn, but I think that the character having that as a villain, somebody who has someone else's memories, is ridiculous. They could have did something original with that. You have a beautiful Gundam. You have a beautiful storyline. You had original characters. Why not do an original villain?
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on to the female character. I have Flay Alster from Gundam Seed. She was just really manipulative and bitchy, and she dropped her fiance and honestly, she was racist towards the coordinators. Like she just she just had like this unreasonable hatred just because her parents died in an attack that was like they were kind of like involved with, and she just because like her humanity, she just couldn't wrap her mind around. She's like, "It's your fault. I hate you. You're all evil people. I hate you." And she was just unreasonable, and she used Kira as a tool to kind of get her revenge on the coordinators, and she played with his emotions. I mean, later down the line, you say, yeah, well, maybe she did end up loving him, and she had redemption at the end. But I hated her character, so yeah.
I was so glad she died. Thank you, baby Jesus. So glad she died. I hated her. Day one, hated her. Not even before her parents died. I hated her. I hated her then. I hated her then.
Yeah, they deserve to die. I hope they burn to hell.
Woo!
Damn.
Cold-blooded.
Hold on. For her. I take a sip.
Some haterade. Yeah,
Delicious.
for me, it's gonna be Gigi from Gundam Hathaway. If you guys have just the one that just dropped,
Yep.
she was just very unimaginative, boring, one-dimensional, and I think, especially in this day and age, I think she was a setback as far as a female character goes. Respect the hustle, respect the game, but literally did absolutely nothing for that storyline whatsoever. Terrible love interest.
What's it called? Laka's Claim, the one from Seed.
Yeah.
Oh, Lacus Klein?
Laka's Klein. She's just manipulative as hell. I didn't like the character. Just I didn't like Seed, so I was just angry at everything that was going on because it's like.
Seed was too hype.
You really gonna talk about Bay like that? I like Bay. Bay was cool.
I'm glad you did. I hate it. You guys enjoy Seed or no? I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't enjoy anything from it. All I took was like some cool fight scenes.
Kind of like the mobile suits.
Yeah.
Mobile suits are cool.
Some cool fight scenes there.
It's got the most overly used animation out of any anime ever. How many times I see the Buster Gundam? Buster Gundam, bro. How many times we see that?
The whole series, bro.
Yo, how you gonna have an AR-15 in space and act like this is a special move? No, you're a murderer. You're not. There's nothing cool about this. You didn't do your heart. There was no speech. Your finger wasn't burning. You just said, "Yo, how about
hot slugs?" Like,
do we have a problem? Like, come on.
Do we have a problem, man?
Don't be a menace to Neo Tokyo while sipping your juice in the hood, because there was gang out there. Every episode, you knew what was happening.
A coordinator? You with the coordinator?
Sometimes it get a little bit crazy right now. Clack, clack. I don't wonder if it goes boom, boom, right? And the sound effects were bananas. Seed was just out here having sounds in space that didn't make no sense.
Can't hear
You got Senpai.
Huh? No, yo, I'm with you. I was with you, man. Honestly,
Okay,
man. From
like,
Seed, I was
right.
just like, I didn't have one. I was just like, oh my god, I totally remember her and how she was such a terrible character, dude.
Just
and like
manipulating everybody.
dude, yeah, when she died, I was like, oh my god, thank goodness, man. I could not take this girl anymore, man. I was like, you are like, I get it. You are just not the only person who lost somebody, man, and you are just being like.
Oh, she was
Man.
self-absorbed from the very get. She was the worst.
Yes. That's why I didn't like her, man. Even before her parents died, she was just like top of the school, like, you know, mean girl status, but she wasn't mean, but like just whatever. She uses her looks.
All right, wears pink on Wednesdays.
Probably, man.
All right, guys. The last category here is side character. I had Jared Mesa from Zeta Gundam. He was a member of the Titans. Pretty much, he thought he was a really good ace pilot. Like, he actually, Monty said, Camille was punching everybody in the face. He actually said Camille was the girl's name, and Camille punched him in the face when he said that.
That sparked so much bloodshed. That one comment, that one interaction, mad people died. I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous.
But I mean, this guy was a scrub. He ended up, chasing Camille like every time in the battlefield. He ended up causing his team like to fail their mission, and he was just a head case, just one track mind. Where's Camille? I have to kill Camille. And he was garbage. Like, he was a trash pilot. The guy had such a high opinion of himself. And I mean, towards the end, like, it kind of happens with everybody like awakens some sort of new type power, and like he was kind of decent towards the end, but he was a laughing stock for most of the series and a liability.
I got a two-parter for this. One's real quick. No Bright, because I just love the slap memes, because that is just hilarious to me. Like, every time a character's acting out of hand, slap, fix them right up. That's, next episode they got a little straightening. But Hallelujah to me is one of the coolest. Let's mess somebody up, because someone's a nice guy. We all want to root for the good characters, but he would have died. He would have died without Hallelujah. You know what I'm saying? Coming through, burning people slowly. I burn slow with sticks, watching the enemy scream, and no one talks about how violent Gundam is and how we just all got desensitized as we watch people pop like popcorn
Yeah.
or get burned to a crisp at 6 years old. What were we doing?
You say that, all I can hear in my mind is the skit from Enter the 36 Chambers. Yeah, leave the coat hanger on the stove for like 30 minutes.
Put that, yeah, asparagus. Yeah, I'm gonna put your nuts on the dresser. Pow!
Ali was just awful. It was amazing.
Yo, I was like, what is going on in this TV show? I can't stop watching this.
All right, Senpai, who you got for least favorite side character?
Least favorite side character, man. I think
pretty much anybody that isn't an MC.
Never mind, man. Yo, Chibbity Crockett. I hate him. He's a terrible. Neo America, awful. I don't know. First off, he comes in with his Jay Leno, like, blue and pink hair. First off, what's more American than that? We get it. His character, his Gundam has, pistols on the side like he's a cowboy because he's American, first off. But he also has boxing gloves from his shoulder pads that makes him a football character, with like a shield that's his skateboard. Like, I don't know what's going on with his Gundam. I don't think he knows what's going on with him. He also has like a giant gold like limo, like before, that showed up. I guess he left his inheritance to that other girl in Wing, where she rolled up, because she's from America too. I don't know, man.
Dorothy.
Yeah, dude, he's just like a really terrible, like put together character. Like, he was literally the bottom of the barrel out of like the Shuffle Alliance. I felt like even when he was able to like make a cool move, it's like, oh, I'm doing all these punches, like that was his like, his golden armor move and all that stuff. And it's like,
Gundam Battle Assault 2, let's go, bring it. I got
dude,
you.
He ain't even good in Gundam Battle Assault 2. Don't even come in with that. He's trash.
Bro, I'll take you with him. All right.
Yo, you want to do that? You want to do that first to 10, yo, $50 money match? We'll do it. Let's go. Bet. Dave knows what that's about. Come on, let's go.
All right, Monty.
No mistakes, only lessons.
Least favorite side character would have to be Tierra Erde from Gundam 00. The android, he was kind of like the worst. He was like such a stickler for sticking to mission, and then was absolutely useless when things went off board for mission. Couldn't tell that they were getting hacked, and then after that, took him a while. He got a little bit of redemption in the second season, but least favorite side character. I think I forgot to mention my favorite side character.
I skipped over that. That was my bad.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah, I think those two guys are my favorite. I thought it was the opposite. My bad.
And then Master Asia. Master Asia's the bomb.com. Fight me. All right, that's it. I'm done.
Undefeated in the East, baby. Undefeated in the East. I'll get with
all right, guys. Now we'll move on to the mechs. So what we'll do, we'll list our top 5. Boom, 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 and then on to the next person, their top 5, and we'll cycle through like that. I'll send it to Lou. Start us off. What's your top 5?
God. Oof, I gotta pull a list up. Sorry, I have it on my. It's gonna be God, Devil, without a doubt. Victory Gundam,
okay.
And I'm gonna say the Unicorn Gundam. There you go. I'm gonna do 4. I need one more. Wing Zero Gundam.
Okay.
Classic.
Senpai, who you got?
I got Heavy Arms, the Dragon Gundam from Neo China. Wow. The Shining Gundam, Over God Gundam. We'll talk about that some other day too. The Star Build Strike Gundam from Build Fighters, man. That's actually my favorite all-time Gundam. And the Suzabe, which is also an amazing mobile suit.
Good pick. Yeah. All right, who you got, Monty?
In no particular order, we got Heavy Arms. We got the new AZL from 0083. That's the green mobile armor that Gato pilots at the end.
Yep.
I just think that thing looks really slick.
I can.
We got the Gundam 00 Diver from Gundam Build Divers. I think it just looks dope. It's just a really dope version.
It does look cool.
Then we got New Gundam from Char's Counterattack. Right. Absolute classic. And then for me, it's going to be Perfect Strike from Gundam Seed.
Nice. Right. Dude, very nice.
All right. I got the Haiku Shiki. I love gold from Zeta Gundam. I have Gundam Epion from Gundam Wing. The beam saber is ridiculous. I love that huge oversized beam saber. The glowing green is just amazing. I'm sorry, this might sound very common pick, but the Death Scythe Hell custom from Endless Waltz. I love the huge bat wings, and again, the Sith is just. I just like the oversized beam weapons. It's just it floats my boat. Full armor double Zeta Gundam. Double Zeta was trash, but the full armor double Zeta looked amazing.
Nice. Yeah.
And I think Lou said the Devil Gundam. I had that, and Scott said Suzabi. So I will round off my list with the O from Zeta. That was
nice.
Piloted by Cicero.
Very cool, man. That's a cool
Cicero!
All right, guys. So now least favorite. We'll start up with Monty. What are your most disgusting 5 Gundams that you can possibly think of?
All right, we're gonna go with Gundam Sandrock. Was not a fan growing up. Was my least favorite. The wings. The Rick Diaz took a long while before it grew on me. Wasn't a big fan of the Rick Diaz. When I gotta go with the Gundam Age. I don't like that the look. I don't like the cockpit style. Wasn't a big fan of that. The Gundam Penelope from Hathaway. It's oversized mobile armor that just should have been a mobile armor instead of an actual Gundam. And then I'm gonna go with Neo Kenya's Zebra Gundam, and I think you know why. Hey,
you know what the canoe gun?
Who you got?
So I'm gonna go with Big Zam. I'm not a big fan of Big Zam. Big Zam's it's a giant.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Big Zam is up there on my list.
All right, cool. Yeah, I got Gundam Unicorn again. It's too hype for me, man. Same thing along with the Barbatos. Barbatos on my list too, man. Barbatos too
much
hype.
Wow.
Way
Too much hype for me, man. It's a cool looking Gundam, man. I'll build one. But this is not for me, man. Mad super random. The RGM 79, like the basic of basic, like the red, like mobile suits in original Gundam with like the white.
Oh, you talking about the regular GMs?
The regular. Like original GMs. Yeah, it's
like
the RGM.
One of my favorite grunt suits. Damn, dude. Like...
It's just so, you know why, man? Because it kind of looks like 2 different Transformers that I really like. And I understand Gundam was there before Transformers. I'm just like, these guys are so much cooler. And you guys just like threw it out there. They was like throwing bird feed to animals. Like they were just throwing them out there, getting blown up and killed. And those were in no typical order. My most hated mech suit, the Gundam Astray. I'm so sick of seeing this thing. Absolutely so sick of seeing this thing. So in any shape or form, whether it be manga, anime, model kits, I hate them. I absolutely hate them.
Yeah.
Hate them. Saturated.
Don't even get me started on that. If we get another Astray, I'm gonna flip it. Like, when can I get like the Neo Holland's windmill?
Where's my windmill Gundam? Where's my windmill Gundam?
I'm gonna go with Crossbones. I'm gonna go with Addictus Gundam. I'll go with G's, which is one of the worst Gundams ever. I'm gonna go with the Butler Gundam, which made literally the Butler Gundam made like G Gundam's great.
With the giant steering wheel. With the giant steering wheel for no reason.
What's going on here, man? What are you doing out here, man? Everybody's got buttons. They got suits on. They can wiggle. You can't even wiggle. And then I'm gonna go with Zoc, obviously, for the non-Gundam's mobile suit. But this just made no sense. And yeah, those are mine. Other than that, you already did Zebra. You already said everything else.
Most of mine are gonna be G Gundam because yes, they had some innovative Gundams, but some of them were just too innovative. Like, what were they doing? Have the Matador Gundam. It was literally just a big bullhead with huge size horns.
Racist Gundam is what I call that one, because that was just...
Then you had the Skull Gundam, again, just a huge, disproportionate, oversized skull as the body with like really thin and lanky limbs. It just looked ridiculous. Mermaid Gundam. Then I have the Turna Gundam with the mustache. The thing that I have in my head here, it had as an upside down mustache. It looked
that was swagoo, baby. What are you talking
I
about?
love the way that Turne looks, yo.
He looked like he looked like the Pringo guy on the
No.
Yo, he does though. Low-key, he does.
He was Gundam number 5 because Mambo number 5 was going on at that time.
Dang.
And then
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I had Big Zom as well. It's just huge body, just really disproportionate.
Big
Big
Long
mobile
legs.
armors. Yeah, they're just big mobile armors.
Yeah,
They're
but
not that-
it was super disproportionate. Like the legs just look ridiculous attached to that thing. It's like it
Yeah.
would have been fine without the legs. But
Big
then
Zam. Let's go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know. I mean, I guess they need the legs because they need to move around on the ground. But I don't know.
I thought it looked cool, man. It was just like, yo.
No, Big Zam is the exact reason why you don't skip leg day. Just say, just say it. Big Zam is a don't skip leg day.
Why
You
you
gotta look
don't
Big
skip
Zam.
leg day? Oh no, that's crazy, bro.
Chicken legs,
Oh,
man.
that's crazy, bro.
All right, guys. And our last category to finish things off on an even lighter note: our favorite Gundam opening, and you have to give a little vocal demonstration.
Only song I sing is Tokyo Ghoul, so I got nothing.
Woo, please kick it off.
I got nothing because the only song I ever sang was Tokyo Ghoul. Josh knows this. I don't do any of them besides Bleach with the that little thing when Yu-Gi-Oh first showed up when they had that little disco track come on and Tokyo Ghoul spoke to my spirit. Other than that, I don't do any of the openings, so that's all I got for you. They were all cool. I love Cowboy Bebop. I love the music of a lot of the Gundam series, but I do not know the openings by heart.
Oh man.
Either man, you put us on the spot. That's
I'm
tough.
gonna
I
go-
can't
No,
say.
you don't have to know it by heart. You just gotta just know the rhythm, Eric.
I'm gonna just go with Gundam Wings theme by Two Mechs, which I believe is Just One Beat, Just Communication.
Yeah.
Just one beat. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, yeah, that was just like the jam, bro. How do you not remember that? That was like, yo, that was like got me all into the whole
A
EDM.
traumatizing childhood, man. I came home to Tsunami. That was my escapism. Those commercials about running home in the hood. Yeah, you forget. Wasn't in vain. I was on the block.
Damn.
Senpai, you got a favorite opening?
Yo, I do. Despite the fact that we were talking a lot of trash about the show in general, Gundam Seed's original opening by TM Revolution Invoke. First off, I love TM Revolution. They did the openings for what was it, Roni Kenshin, and we stuck to not the opening, the closing, man. You know, the Heart of the Sword, one of the best
Okay.
tracks, man. Love
Yes.
that track. All right, and TM Revolution actually blew up here in the States, and they actually did a song, I think, for Spider-Man 2, possibly. You can go look that up, man. That was like their first like American debut, which was really sick. But it was just like it had such a nice like opening with like piano. It was like dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun dun,
I know
and
you're
then
talking
like
about.
and then it's like I don't know,
The
it's like
violin would kick in.
it's like it was like oh my god, man, it was like super good, and the music video made absolute no sense. Please go look at it afterwards. It's like the guy is like plugged into a receiver and he pulls it out and it's like starts bleeding and he dies, but like they're just glass rooms full of himself, like just watching himself make bad choices, like for like the actual band. But overall, man, I love that song, and I actually got to add that to my
I'm
general list.
surprised none of you guys went with G Gundam Shining Finger. I'm
Yeah.
I
surprised you didn't do that.
was going to, but I didn't want to be like, man, I'm just talking
But,
too much about G Gundam.
That's not my
I
pick.
ain't gonna lie,
My
I thought,
pick
I
is
thought Senpai was gonna sing it, so
my pick is Stardust Memory. I love that opening. It starts off with its classic 80s with like the little electronic techno piano. Dun, 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 then the saxophone kicks in. Dun, dun, dun.
Nice,
And
man.
the lady's soft, a soft little tune. Dun, 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 dun. And then just goes full emotional. I got a burning heart. Dun, 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 dun.
I gotta go listen to this after.
I hope Jay adds
I don't
all
know the
these
words,
songs.
but I got a burning heart.
Ooh.
Love that opening so
Man.
much. It's so 80s. It's so old school. That is my pick. And that's going to do it for tonight's episode, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. There's a lot more to discuss on the podcast that gets posted or the YouTube video. Leave your comments on all our picks. Let us know what you think. You hate them, love them, got something to add to the discussion. Let us know. We'll fight you over it. Guaranteed. My fellow kages, Lumillion, Senpai, Jay Monty, thanks for joining in on the discussion. And thank you, everybody, for tuning this episode, and we'll see you next time.
Be the blessing.
Hail Zeon!
Yeah.
Yo!